Hello, my name is Mark and I thank you so much for coming by today. Well, if you can't tell from this video right here, I love the ocean. I especially love the color of the ocean, and this video I shot a few years ago on a vacation really accentuates that color. And that color is turquoise, and I just adore the color turquoise. I don't know why. There's something very soothing about it. The color, it invokes the ocean, it invokes calmness, and it's basically, this tube here is just basically phthalo blue and phthalo green, but this m.graham paint really produces quite a marriage when those colors come together. You can see here what a beautiful color. Now the on-screen version of this, you can't really see just how brilliant this color is, but on paper, once it dries, it's a gorgeous bluish green color, and it just really pops right off the page. And doing these swatches just really excited me to get working with this paint because it's just such a beautiful color. But it's also a very powerful color, meaning it's a high staining color and it's a very prominent color. So for me, I have to be very careful with it and make sure I know how to use it properly, because while it's very high staining, it's going to sort of knock out any competitive colors. So if you lay down some nice light greens or light yellows or even oranges, this color could come in and dominate those colors. So it's something you have to kind of water down and make sure it's not used too strongly, because it will dominate a painting. So what I wanted to do today was talk about the color turquoise, how to mix different turquoise. Like m.graham is the higher end sort of expensive paint. The Sakura Koi set that I'm using here to use VIRIDIAN and CERULEAN blue is a less expensive set. So even if you have an expensive set of watercolors or even a less expensive set, you can still mix these colors. And this combination from the Sakura Koi set is gorgeous. I mean, this is a beautiful marriage of the VIRIDIAN and the CERULEAN blue that really is just a knockout color. I mean, that greenish blue color is just exactly what I like, and I can see myself using the turquoise m.graham as much as I can see myself using these colors as well. Now, if I go to my m.graham set, right away I go to the sap green aspect and say, okay, what am I going to get if I mix sap green with cerulean blue? How is that going to look? Because they're different greens, different from VIRIDIAN. And again, it's a higher quality paint. So mixing those two, once again, I get a different color. It's amazing how many versions of turquoise you can get. In nature, there are a ton of range of colors with the mineral turquoise. You can go right to cobalt teal, that's pretty much as close to the robin's egg, the classic robin's egg turquoise that you'll see. But in nature, you'll find the robin's egg blue, you get deeper blues, you get blue greens, and even purple. There's a purple turquoise called fluorite turquoise, which is mined in the United States, and it's a purple turquoise stone. It has a greenish undercolor, but it also has the purple color too. So there's a huge variety. Now here I'm just mixing some phthalo blue with some MAID green, which is sort of a brighter green, and that produces sort of the same as the VIRIDIAN color, which means to me I'll have to add something else. So this time I'm going to mix in a little cobalt azure just to see what happens there. And once again, it's a beautiful color. It's not unlike mixing the VIRIDIAN and the cerulean blue, so I know that that's sort of a standard combination that I can get. But I encourage you, if you have a set of watercolors and you have a blue and you have a green, try to mix them together and see what you can get. See if you can come up with a turquoise. Now, I'm mixing French ultramarine and Hansa yellow here, and this wasn't what I expected. It's a little bit deeper and muddier than I expected, but even still, it would make a nice shadow color or a nice accent color, a darker accent color for one of the other colors too. So I'm not disappointed. I'm just not, it wasn't what I expected. But in nature, if you look at a raw piece of turquoise, you can see once it's polished, and all those colors that come out of it are just gorgeous. Even the brownish gold veins inside the turquoise are just gorgeous. And if you look at the Shah Mosque in Iran, or you look at King Tut's burial mask, you'll see all kinds of turquoise used in art and in decoratives all over the world. And especially in jewelry. That's where you usually find turquoise nowadays, because it's mined all over the world and it's pretty much available, even though it's still expensive. In product packaging, I've used the color turquoise for many things, especially women's products. This is Sea Mineral Moisture shampoo, which I love because it smells like the ocean, but it was discontinued and you can now buy it for about 80 bucks on the internet. I have a couple of bottles that I tucked away because I love this shampoo, but I don't use it that often, but that's another story. This little piece of pottery here was made by my daughter a few years back, and even though on camera it looks sort of powdery blue, it does have a turquoisey hue to it, which I absolutely love. And for my lunch every day, this sort of Tupperware thing that I use, the turquoise lid, you can see how this color permeates every aspect of our lives, from decorative to jewelry, everything. And if you have a variety of art supplies, you can see that watercolor isn't the end-all for turquoise. You can use colored pencil. You can use, here, this is a fine liner pen. I have an Arteza and I think a Statler. And you can see that even using those, you get some really beautiful tones. And with water, you can bring out that ink from the fine liner pens, and you can just have fun with it. You can buy gel pens. You can buy Copic markers. Copic has a huge variety of turquoise colors, light, dark, whatever. And here, this is a Faber-Castell Pitt marker, which has just such a gorgeous blue. This is almost like the cobalt teal. And again, these are the colors of the ocean, which I can't wait to get back to the ocean. But if I were to pick an artist, it would be John Singer Sargent, he just mastered the art of creating water and that ocean view. And he used turquoise just for his accents, and they're gorgeous. So for me, in my, the way I work in my style and so forth, when I want to pick a palette to use, and turquoise is a tricky one, I turn to my book of colors and go right to the turquoise page, and I can say, okay, here are the colors that I can use in a palette and that will go good. And it shows the balance. The thicker the bar, the more color you'll need for that palette. And I can also turn to the blues and see, okay, in comparison, because turquoise is still more of a blue color, what colors would go good with blue, and compare those to the turquoise palette. Now, this drawing that I'm going to do for you today, this demo, this is a drawing. It's actually a wedding scene, which I'll get into that later. I drew this in a turquoise colored pencil, and I'm going to lay down the first wash. Now, I knew going in, because I did some tests, that this was going to be a very strong color. Again, it's a high staining color, so once you put it down, it's pretty much there. But knowing how this color works, and especially this m.graham paint, it's going to be a very powerful color. So I want to put down the first wash, get a good look at it, but I also wanted to use it in the background. Now, to the right of the screen, you'll see the palette that I'm using here. It's the turquoise blue color, the Hansa yellow, a mix of sap green, and getting it a little turquoise, I put a little bit of cerulean blue in there, and also a cobalt violet. Now, I wanted to use the cobalt violet and the greenish color as my character colors because I just felt that the turquoise would make everything pop too much. So if I used the turquoise m.graham paint on one character and say the cobalt violet on the other, the m.graham turquoise would just be too strong and dominate over the cobalt violet color. So I thought it was a good idea to use the greenish color against the cobalt violet and use the turquoise as the background. That way the background it's dominant, but it's not going to overpower the other characters on the page, if that makes sense. I'm not sure. But all in all, what I was going for was just to get these characters to come off, and I think I succeeded in getting them to pop off of a dark background of a dark turquoise. And using that palette choice that I had from my book of colors, it seems to work very well, and I'm very happy with the results. The Hansa yellow, each character sort of has a little bit of Hansa yellow somewhere in it, or most of the characters do. Originally, I was going to ink this in with a dip pen and a turquoise ink, but I realized that the turquoise ink wasn't going to show up the way I wanted it to. So I just resorted to a black micron pen. And I don't always like to use the micron pens for outlining, but this was a case where I figured the black would pop better, and it looks just fine, so I'm not going to worry about it. I did go back in and touch up some details with the turquoise colored pencil just to get things to pop a little more. So you can see here, this is basically how I'm getting things to just come out, and once I finished it, I was very pleased with the results. And like I said, it's a wedding, so you have The first couple is the unexpected lovers, the ravenous bride and the scolded groom. You have the righteous maid of honor, and you have the angry cousin along with the contented father. So this little wedding scene was just so much fun to work with, and you can see how the blue, the turquoise, sets in the background while the characters pop off, and I really like the way that that came out. So I'm very happy with the way it came out. I thank you for watching. I hope this was enjoyable, and if it was, please subscribe because I'd love to bring you more content like this. And I urge you, if you have your own watercolors, try mixing these colors and see how they come out for you. Thank you so much, and as always, stay healthy and God bless.